What's going on, everybody? I'm here to do a review for you of the Antichrist. Um, I'm going to get a little bit in depth with this, do something different with this review. There will be some spoilers, but I'm not going to ruin the film. Um, just trying something different to see what you guys like. I had done a poll on my Instagram for this and The Farmer. See which one you guys wanted for review. Came out 50-50. So I did both. I already did The Farmer. Now I'm doing the Antichrist. Everything will be on my channel, on my YouTube channel. So check them all out. Anyway, the Antichrist was a 1974 film released by Kino recently. This is a great film. I had seen it before, just not in a very long time. This is the first US Blu-ray that we have gotten. I don't know what has taken it so long to come to Blu-ray here in the US. There is another version of it overseas that's been out for a couple years now. I don't think too long. But yeah, first US Blu-ray, and it looks fantastic. So, as I said, I'm going to get into this a little bit more in depth. I've got my work phone here with notes and whatnot. They were very thorough with it, so I'm going to be, you're going to see me glance down like this. I'm going to talk about some things, but then dance around some things and not ruin the movie for you. But this film begins with a religious procession, and then a whole bunch of people gathered outside of this room with a statue behind like bars, basically. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like Virgin Mary or another saint. I'm not up on my religious figures, but there are people that are, there's like families with people that have issues, whether it be physically or mentally, and they're all babbling and screaming. Everything is just a mess. There's no subtitles or anything. Everybody's just screaming like an Italian, I think, and there's no subtitles or anything because it's just everybody yelling. You wouldn't be able to do that. You get the idea of what's going on though. And a woman is brought forward by her parents who's just babbling and screaming something. They force her hand to touch this statue, this blue scarf that's around the statue. And once she does that and she actually touches the statue, the entire room shuts up and just stares at her. And she stops babbling. She smiles. It's like she was healed. And just smiles and walks away with her parents, which then sends everybody into a complete frenzy. The main actress, who I'll never be able to say her name repeatedly, what her name is in the film, her actual name is Carla. You don't know at this point, but she's there with her father, and she tries to approach the statue on her own, and you can see she's having issues. If you know the film or read the back, you know why she is like that, but if you're just blindly going into it, you don't know why she's like that. But she's kind of shuffling towards it and falls down. Her father comes, helps her up. The girl that was just healed is there also helping her up, and instead of bringing her towards the statue, they just leave, which is a little confusing, but okay. That was it. They leave, and somebody else that was there to be healed. You can see there's something definitely mentally wrong with him. He breaks free from the people that he was with and runs out and makes a big scene outside. Something he was wearing was a necklace with a photo of a Christ. When Carla goes back to her home, which actually before that, when she's in the car with her father, you've it's kind of explained of why she is the way she is. She was in an accident with her father, and she is pretty much paralyzed. Um, she's able to move with a little bit. She uses a cane, but for the most part, she's in a wheelchair. Um, when she's back at the house, her father is there. The servant is there. They have a very big house, and this younger, attractive woman is there. When she is leaving the room, basically to go to her room, she starts to hear voices, and she stops her wheelchair and backs up and sees her father and this younger woman embracing, which completely sets her off. And when she's in her room, she has a cross on. She takes it off and puts it in her jewelry box. And she starts going through her jewelry box and pulls out the same Christ necklace that the guy that just caused the scene was wearing. And as she's staring at it, she puts on a horrified face because suddenly Christ's eyes are red and he's got all kinds of fangs. And she throws it into the fireplace nearby, which immediately bursts into flames and the entire fire goes out. So, with that, she ends up going to confession, which is the priest is her uncle. And while she's there, she does say some, quote, blasphemous things, which of course doesn't make him happy, and they go through the whole situation with her. And the priest ends up meeting with her father and recommends a psychiatrist. The doctor that meets her believes that he can cure her with hypnosis, meaning cure the paralysis, saying it was trauma, basically, that's keeping her from walking like a normal person. It's not an actual paralyzed, broken spine or anything like that keeping her from walking. It is just some trauma within her, and he wants to hypnotize her and get it out of her. When they do the hypnosis, you see the actual accident that happens in the first time that the hypnosis is done. The next one that they do, he has her go further back to even a past life. And you see a woman in the middle of a room in a cage surrounded by priests who accuse her of being a witch. And you know, it's obviously her, but it turns out that it is a relative. I forget how many generations it went back, but the woman has the exact same name as her and looks just like her. I believe it was like 400 years prior to that. And the doctor isolates this as the reason for all the hidden trauma and the cause of being paralyzed as she is. Once that happens, though, she begins to go into more transit states, visions, voices. It's more now that it's come to the surface. She is lying in bed and is having these visions of like a satanic ceremony with this woman, this relative of hers, being brought into a cult. This ties into her, and things start to happen to her in this time. And once all that happens, she's suddenly able to walk again. And she has a car that she drives and whatnot, and does hand motions, you see. which I've seen before with people that are paralyzed. They have hand gears and things for pedals to drive. But she's able to just drive her car. She gets out and walks around and goes to some, I don't know, like a cave. There's like a bus full of either tourists or maybe even school kids. I'm not even exactly sure if they're like high school kids, that type of age. But she's definitely not her. She's definitely this other being that has been brought out. Once she's in those caves, some things happen, and she ends up face down in the grass uh, by her car, and a little girl is there helping her, like dragging her back to the car, and she can't walk again. So she's like back to what she was, and the doctor comes back because she's in just bad shape now, rehypnotizes her, and once again there is the witch in the cage, but now they burn her, and she loses her mind during this session because she thinks she's being burned alive. After that, the doctor says, "Get up, walk." Well, her brother is in the room and say, "Walk, stay there, walk over to him," and she does it. And now she feels like $1 million. Fantastic. So they all sit down to have dinner, and that is when all hell breaks loose. She says, "Oh, she must have quite an appetite from the hypnosis," and she starts just savagely eating like cold cuts, and immediately this witch inside of her comes out, and everything in the room starts like shaking, candles are blown out, things are moving all over the place, and she is just giving it to everybody, saying who she is, like it's been 400 years and what's going on and whatnot. And the only thing that snaps her out of it are the sound of church bells. But it snaps her out of it for a short amount of time, because the next time you see her, she is full-blown possessed. And it just goes from there. And I'm not going to go further into it because I don't want to ruin the last part of the movie for you. But as I said, I've seen this before. It's very well done. It obviously capitalized on the Exorcist craze. And I mean, those of you that are collectors and know when a film comes out and then the Italians went and did their version of it, they were just batshit crazy. I don't know if that was their formula. That's what you have here. It's batshit crazy, but it is a very good movie. You may recognize some things that have been sampled by different bands. Necrophagia definitely is one, of the demon voice. And also, if you have never seen this, when you watch it, the voice of this possession, you might recognize, you may be like, why have I heard that before? And it kind of sounds like the voice they use for the film's Wishmaster. They mess with the voice in Wishmaster a little bit, but it kind of sounds like that. So you may hear it and be like, that is really strikingly familiar. That's where it came from. Well, not where it came from, just what it sounds like to me. Anyway, not a ton of special features. You've got an interview with it was a featurette with director, co-writer Alberto Di Martino, and composer, I can never say these names right, but you know who he is. Morricone, who did who's done so many soundtracks. One of them being The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You get a TV spot. That interview was only about 10 minutes or so long, which is pretty much just the director. Arcone is only in it for maybe like 15 seconds. But in that interview, um, the director talks about some of the special effects that they did, which, by the way, no, this has nothing to do with Kino. This is just the way it was filmed. Um, the film is from 1974, so to achieve some of the effects that are in the later part of the film was very difficult. So in older versions of it, you notice it a little bit, but it's not as glaring as in this version. And again, no fault of Kino, no fault of the filmmakers. With the film cleaned up and everything, the film looks fantastic. And then with these special effects that they had to do, you can definitely notice it different. To give you an idea, it almost looks like if you're watching something, say like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the film looks fantastic, and the inserted cut scenes that you can't get anymore because maybe the film's been destroyed, they're from like a lesser quality material, so you can notice the film difference with those scenes. That's what you see with these special effects. But again, this is no fault of Kino, it's just the way it was filmed. What they did in those scenes today is literally a push of a button to do. Whereas 1974, almost 50 years ago, it was very difficult to do. So the film itself looks a little bit different, but I don't think it takes away from anything. And there was nothing that Kino could do themselves to match it or somehow make it look better. That's just not possible. But the director speaks about those scenes and how difficult it was in that interview. And actually, when he's doing it, he says 27 years ago. He said to do those things. At that time, it was like, oh, you just push a button now and take care of it. But 27 years ago, you couldn't do that. So 27 years ago, this is 1974 film. That interview was from 2001. So now it's 2000. It's 21 years ago that interview was done. So even today, it's just even easier for everybody to do with the computers. But those are great scenes, for sure. You also get, it was also called The Tempter, this film. So you have an opening credit sequence that they have on here as a little bonus feature. And there is an audio commentary with author, film historian Lee Gambin, and film critic Sally Christie. I did not get a chance to view that, but if you like audio commentaries, with a film like this, it's definitely got to be interesting. It's something I definitely want to go back and watch, because I'm sure they have a lot of useful and good information. And that's all. And packaging wise, you get your slipcover. It has the alternate artwork, or you can have the regular artwork in there. First pressing, as always, is just slipcover. So if you're a slipcover collector, you'll definitely want to get it. And also, by the way, I misspoke. I'm saying, Kino with the transfer and whatnot. It's actually Studio Canal that does the transfer. So same thing with them. No fault of theirs. It's just how those scenes were shot. So that is all I've got to say. I'm not going to spoil the last part of the film. Let me know your thoughts on having reviews done like this. If it's too much, if I should scale it back. If you've seen the film, please comment below. Let me know what you think of it. I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Very good possession film. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if you didn't like it. Everything's cool. No problem. I did a review for The Farmer also, which I have posted up on YouTube already. And I did a spur of the moment Texas Chainsaw review reaction to the new Netflix film. That one is heavy on spoilers, so that one I would only watch if you have seen the film already. That's all. Thank you everybody for watching. Pick up the Antichrist from Kino. See ya.